All right, let me edit. Let me put part two on here. Yeah, let me put part two. Okay, I'm gonna start this video from the beginning. I don't know what happened. I don't know what the hell I hit.
I met Jay Z and I signed to Rock Nation. The first thing he told me to do is get plastic surgery. I'm not insecure because I've already got plastic surgery. People make it.
Now, so when she signed to, the first thing he did was make her get plastic surgery.
And enough is enough. I'm everyone now. Even Adele, because she's retired now. I
Okay, what's going on, StreamYard? What's going on? What's the problem? What is the problem? Damn, you've been doing good.
my job. And it, when she gets an award, she thanks Beyonce. I didn't want to drink myself in blood and cover.
Now, you hear what she said? She said she did not want to cover herself in blood and black goop because Beyonce is a witch. Facts. Now, this is Mia. I don't know what the problem. God, please let this is last.
I can like wear devil horns. I can sell a record. That
And wear devil horns to
will
sell
be
a
a
record.
witch. Or be that. That.
Oh, yo, she's even did one of these lawsuits have lots of skeletons crawling out of his closet. Baby, I mean exactly that. Guess what? MIA is back, and she is exposing more
This
of
is
the
the
things
culture
Jay-Z and
spill.
Beyonce were forcing her to do when she signed to Jay's label. And I'm talking about plastic surgery, so much more. Better get seated, because this tea is blazing hot. Okay, just for a bit. MIA joined Rock Nation management in May, and this right before her fourth album, Tangy, reportedly happened after Rock Nation pulled a trailer for a that went into crafting her then latest album. Then once her ties with the label soured, she issued a statement via X saying, "I'm leaving Rock Nation. Thanks to everyone who supported the MIA hashtag Mantangi LP. Happy New Year." Now, other than the documentary drama, MIA's decision to leave the label was also after her 2013 album release, Mantangi, was delayed multiple times. She cited creative differences as the reason for that. She said at the time, "At the moment, I've been told it's too positive. So we're having a bit of an issue at the moment. Like, we just grew up as this public enemy number one, and now you're coming out with all this positive stuff." Well, no, she still had controversies here and there. For instance, back in 2012, MIA made a controversial appearance at the Super Bowl halftime show, during which she briefly flashed the middle finger. Afterward, she was in the middle of a nasty disregard for the values that form the cornerstone of the NFL brand and the Super Bowl. According to the NFL, MIA breached a pre-show agreement to maintain its reputation for wholesomeness, and the league argued that she and later upped the fine to $16.6 million. They claimed restitution for the alleged exposure she gained as a result of the event. After the NFL sued her, MIA issued a statement that said the lawsuit was completely ridiculous, and they were scapegoating her into figuring out the goalposts on what is offensive in America. She also said it was a massive waste of money and it was a massive display of powerful corporations' absurdity. She said that they wanted her on her knees and so they could slap her on the wrist, but she wasn't going to do it, especially since there were also young girls in cheerleading outfits doing all sorts of provocative moves at the event.
And a larger picture where it zooms out, there is a row background scenery of 10, if you look at them, they're wearing cheerleader outfits, hips planted in the air, legs wide open, and in this very position. So now there's scapegoated me into figuring out the goalposts on what is offensive in America. Like, is my finger offensive, or is an underage black girl with her legs wide open more offensive to the family audience?
But this wasn't even the worst thing that happened, by the way. Apparently, instead of having her back and helping her navigate the issue, Jay-Z was the one forcing MIA to sign a ridiculous deal that would leave her broke for the rest of her life. For those who recall, in 2018, MIA reflected on that moment and spilled the tea about how Jay-Z was pushing her to sign the deal that would leave her broke for the rest of her life. She told Hug Magazine, "I was at Roc Nation at the time, and Jay-Z was managing me." The lawsuit was so ridiculous. It proposed that I would keep 100% of my earnings for the rest of my life if I ever earned more than $2 million. Jay-Z was like, "You should sign that ish." And I was like, "No." Then after MIA did the interview, she tagged the story and told people to read it before it got deleted from the internet, because she knew Jay-Z was capable of having the article deleted from the internet. And just like MIA predicted, if you click on the link that is supposed to redirect you to the article, you will be met with the message, "This account has been suspended." Other than this lawsuit drama, if there's something else MIA is known for, is calling out Jay-Z and Beyonce. Like, there was a time MIA did an interview and said that BLM is the only problem that's talked about in the US, and called on stars such as Beyonce to highlight the plight of other groups, including Syrians. She was like, "It's interesting that in America, the problem you're allowed to talk about is BLM. It's not a new thing to me. It's what Lauryn Hill was saying in the 1990s or Public Enemy in the 1980s. Is Beyonce or Kendrick Lamar going to say Muslim lives matter or Syrian lives matter?" In addition, at the beginning of 2024, she was back on social media for blaming Jay-Z for collaborating with her baby daddy to keep her away from her child and make her life miserable. MIA first shared screenshots of her struggle to get a visa so that she could travel to the US to see her son, and she wrote in the caps, "Biden won't let me see my child. The longest processing is meant to be 2 months, and it's already been that. I have to wait till a Republican wins." Wow. Based on what she wrote, MIA said that she was not allowed to see her child for stealing food when she was 18 and poor. She also said that she believes the underlying reason for her ongoing custody battle has a lot to do with her being outspoken about peace in the Middle East, and also added, "I have shown support for Julian for 14 years and have been to the USA many times. The only thing different this time is I called for a ceasefire and spoke out against ethnic cleansing. Now I am forced to pick between my child and speaking up for what's right by God." According to MIA, the U.S. government was okay with her child being with a family that has been convicted of all sorts of nasty things, and when she talked about her child being raised by a questionable family, MIA was referencing the NXIUM cult, which named 2 of Bronfman's cousins as their leaders. MIA also said that her first custody battle was in 2013, and at the time she was being managed by Jay, who she claimed was paid by the Bronfmans to make her life difficult. She actually gave another reason as to why her Mentangi record was buried in 2013, adding, "I sacrificed my career for my child. They ripped me off and copied my style and gave it to their puppets and shadow banned me on every platform. But it was worth it to save him from the madness of what you know now." MIA also went further with the accusations against Jay and said that the day she was served, Roc Nation stopped all communications from her, and all her emails to Jay-Z asking for help were wiped from her inbox. In addition, she said that her house was broken into, her laptop was stolen, and she was trapped in Brooklyn with an order that prevented her from leaving for 15 years. In her rant, she also said that her son was vaccinated without her consent by Aurora James, who she said is a friend of Beyonce and Solange. According to MIA, the family knows that she is anti-vax, and they even called her out for that. And the sole reason why they vaccinated her son was to get under her skin. And she blames Aurora, who she said is a friend to Beyonce and Solange.
Wow.
More recently, MIA was back on our feeds talking about how after she signed to Roc Nation, Jay-Z told her to get plastic surgery because she wasn't pretty enough. And then she went into even more details about how Jay-Z is a Satanist and how she refused to indulge in blood rituals to...
He is a Satanist. He's a Luciferian. He is. Kanye West just came out and said that in his contract, he said you cannot talk about Jesus Christ. That's in his contract.
sell records.
I met Jay-Z and I signed to Roc Nation. The first thing he told me to do is get plastic surgery. I'm not insecure because I would have got plastic surgery. People make it, they all can turn around and thank Beyonce. Because that's it. And enough is enough. I'm everyone now. And even Adele, because she's retired now, but her career would not exist if I hadn't made Jonathan Dickens into a manager. And when she gets an award, she thanks Beyonce. Oh, I didn't want to drip myself in blood and cover myself and swim in goop, in black goop, and like wear devil horns to fucking sell a record. That. All be a witch. All be that. All of that. All of them.
Personally, I find it ridiculous that Jay-Z asked MIA to get plastic surgery because she's drop dead gorgeous, and you wouldn't even tell that she's 50. But other than this, people are saying
Damn, I didn't know she was that old.
like that only amplifies his behavior amidst the lawsuit. And that part about MIA saying that she was also being asked to participate in satanic rituals to sell records, that also doesn't come as a surprise. I mean, there have also been a bunch of people who have said the same thing about the Carters, including Jay-Z's ex-friend Larry Johnson, who was talking about their fallout and said that when he started digging about Jay, things started to make sense because he apparently found out who Jay really is, why he says the things he says, and with whom he has an allegiance. According to Larry, before it was all about partying and popping bottles. But if you listen again to things with a new ear, you will see the truth. And the truth is that Jay and Beyonce are very deep into Satanism.
Obviously, they're not serving the same Most High God that I am. And that's what makes us enemies, that I stand for a completely different doctrine, a completely different nation, and a completely different truth than he does. I don't have any materialism attached to my spirit or soul anymore. I don't have fornication attached to my spirit anymore. I mean, I just got engaged July, so my life is completely different from how I was with women in the early 2000s. And I think that is the difference in itself of being evolved with Rockaware has made me see something completely different, and knowing who his allegiance is with is not the Most High God, and we all know, Satan rules this realm.
And let me not even get started with everything that has been said about Beyonce being a ritualist. So when MIA was talking about allegedly being asked to participate in blood rituals, people were just like, yeah, that's not surprising. Well, the one consequence of her fallout with the Carters was that she was blackballed. And like many other artists who had fallouts with the Carters, she was labeled difficult to work with. I mean, people have even gone as far as to claim that MIA suffers from serious mental issues.
They always do.
Conspiracy theorist, and all this because of her fallout with the Carters. Somehow, they always make it impossible for anyone who goes against them to succeed. And according to many people, unfortunately, MIA has been one of those people. Well, there are people who also say that MIA ruined her own career. But do you also think that she would have done better if she didn't work with Jay-Z? Do you
Absolutely.
also blame her fall on her association with Jay and everything she exposed about him? Is this yet another statistic of a career that was ruined courtesy of the Carters? As always, I can't wait to know what you think. So drop those thoughts down below.
I told you this one was going to be good because we getting in the nitty gritty of things. Now this Larry Johnson talking about the kids.
And then out of nowhere came these young children. I don't know where they came from. And I sat next to this child, and the child sat next to Beyonce. So I hear B say something about, doesn't this look sexy, or isn't this sexy? Early in the morning.
This is Tropical Juice.
Party for this photo shoot. We rented this house, and we were watching LeBron play. And after the game, it had to be like 10 or 11 o'clock. So we getting ready to party. Mind you, it's all adults. There was a 13-year-old or a 14-year-old teenage Latin girl that was there, and I think she had to leave because she had school and she had to do homework. But she brought her mother with her, so it was no funny business going on, which I can respect that. So when 11 o'clock hit, we turned on the music, we started drinking, and then out of nowhere came these young children. I don't know where they came from. For a rap party at 11 o'clock at night, drinking loud music and us dancing wild, like, I don't know where these kids came from. And then I happened to sit down because I was dancing with one of the assistants. And I sat next to this child, and the child sat next to Beyonce. So I hear B say something about, doesn't this look sexy, or isn't this sexy? And in my mind, and mind you, I'm not awakened as I'm awakened now. So in my mind, I'm like, what did she just say? And then I didn't pay no attention to it. And then, obviously the liquor took hold of me and I had to leave. So I said bye to everybody and left. But those kids remained. I don't know if those kids were from the photo shoot themselves, but the fact that these kids came around adults during drinking hours or partying hours was already alarming to me. So when I hear something like this happens, I can't really discount it and say, oh, he could never do this, because I'm hearing stories, I'm seeing it with my own eyes, and I've been in situations where something don't sound or look right, and it's usually involving children.
Larry, you just blown my mind, and so I'm gonna have to ask you to. I just want to be clear on what I just heard. In 2006 or 7,
Yeah.
you're in Colorado at a winter party with
Yes.
Jay-Z
Yeah.
and the people with Rock Nation. And
It was the people who helped out with the photo shoot. It was a winter campaign that we shot. Mm-hmm.
and it's at some very nice mansion somewhere in Colorado.
Yeah, up in the mountains somewhere.
And Beyonce is sitting relatively close to you, and there's a child there. And this is after 11 o'clock at night. And she says, "Doesn't this look sexy?" Beyonce, the singer.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Yes. Yes.
So that was a quote from Larry Johnson. As I said, Larry Johnson is a NFL player. As you can see on your screen, he's a certified NFL player. He started his career in 2002. He used to play for the Kansas City Chiefs, and he retired in 2011. So he was clearly in the industry. He's an athlete. You know, a lot of these celebrities, they mingle with athletes. LeBron, Kobe, they've all been seen with certain celebrities. That's normal to mix circles. As you can see on your screen right here, there's a comment on a YouTube video that I saw. I found it quite interesting. It says, "I think we need to be clear about the history of Larry Johnson. He used to live with Jay."
Despite the dough rolling in, some peculiar rumors emerged. An anonymous woman who worked at Trump Tower told Mossad website that Jay-Z and Larry not only co-owned one of the apartments in the building, but also lived in it together as well. Allegedly.
That ain't allegedly. That's in Foxy Brown's in her book. They live together.
Despite being in a long-term relationship with Beyonce, the woman stated she had never seen Beyonce in the building. The fact that Larry and Jay were both successful public figures at the time led many people to believe that the rumor was all cap. Why the hell would two millionaires need to shack up together and go half on a mortgage? But then, a sports writer out of Philly named Paul Domowitch confirmed the rumors in an article. According to another blog, Paul wrote,
This is tropical
New York,
juice.
Rapper Jay-Z showed up in Kansas City Sunday for the first time since the team began its voluntary workouts. Welp. In 2007, Larry played Fantasia Barrino's love interest in the music video for her song, When I See You. Larry told a Kansas City news outlet that Jay-Z cussed him out after he filmed the music video. Wait, what? Larry confirmed that Jay-Z told him, "The less things you do, the more people will have interest in you. The more things you do, you water down your value." On the flip side, Jay-Z gave Larry the okay to appear in his Rock Boys music video, though.
They were extremely close. A lot of us used to say they were in a relationship, allegedly. You can look it up. He's been speaking on the topic of industry.
What is going on?
What really goes on behind the scenes.
Man, what's
He's one of
going
the first
on?
who spoke on the Baphomet, etc. We're talking over 10 years ago, before Cathy.
Now you're talking about the
and many
Baphomet.
others. A lot of people labeled him crazy, so it's interesting that he's coming back. I pray that the Lord covers him and continues to use him to expose darkness. We also pray for his salvation in the name of Jesus. I say this a lot in my Patreon videos. It doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't matter if you believe in God, if you don't. I mean, it does obviously, but as in, it doesn't matter what you think you believe. These people, these elites, they do believe in this stuff. The people that run the world and who impact your day-to-day lives, whether it's
They are
Muslims, whether it's
Satanists,
you listen to, they actually
Luciferians.
believe in this stuff. A lot of them believe in the Baphomet. A lot of them follow the teachings of Aleister Crowley, Jay-Z included. It's clear as day what they're into. Okay, they're very demonic. Beyonce used to be a good Christian girl. She ain't no more. As simple as that. So now we've spoken about who Larry Johnson actually is. Let's talk about what he said. He actually said that when he was at a party with them in Colorado, where Jay-Z rented a mansion, and you know there was a little Latin girl there underage, but she was actually with her mum, so there was no funny business going on, no funny business happening. But then he says, when 11 o'clock hit, and you know the party starts, people drinking, whatever, the party, people getting loosey-goosey, starting to enjoy themselves. This has absolutely nothing to do with Rock Nation and everything to do with Masonry and Thelema. Yeah, this is the hand symbols. Look at Kanye West and Tom Cruise. I'm actually going to play a clip from my Patreon video that I dropped about 3 months ago, right? And it's going to explain a bit more. As you can see from this scene here, the all-seeing eye has absolutely nothing to do with Rock Nation. This is a scene from the show called Strange Angel. Strange Angel is a show based on John Whiteside Parsons, who was an American rocket engineer, chemist, and a Thelemite occultist. In this scene here, we can see the High Priestess doing Crowley symbolism as she performs her sex magic ritual. This is a show about a famous Thelemite, a famous occultist. And in this show, the High Priestess is doing the symbolism. Do you think that High Priestess...
The all-seeing eye is the eye of Horus. That is a part of Freemasonry. And most of their doctrine comes from the ancient Egyptian mystery system. I'm going to have to do a thing on Freemasonry. Let me see, what else he's saying?
each year performing witchcraft with celebrities. Right? She exposed Summer Walker. She spoke about Beyonce. Not only that, Ariana Grande is a certified witch. You can even Google it. She says it in her interviews herself. She says, I'm a literal witch. And the interviewer laughs and she goes, no, a literal witch. So it doesn't surprise me at all that she jumped at the chance to do Wicked. I know her performance was great. I know the film was great. I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard great things. But she literally is into this witchcraft stuff. So they all are. So Beyonce, as the witch actually said, she believes in Oshun, which is a Yoruba. It's from Yoruba in Nigeria. As you can see in this picture here, right, that is Oshun. And this is Beyonce dressed in the exact same attire. Even here, Beyonce has identified with Oshun, the Yoruba goddess of love, fertility, and sensuality, for years, and has incorporated Oshun imagery into her work. In Lemonade, as you can see, Black is King, Mood Forever. Okay, it's clear as day that she's into witchcraft, voodoo, and she actually mentions it in her music. Even some of her lyrics are questionable.
And she is. She is. She is a witch. Now, this one is on Cathy White. Some say Cathy White was unalive and is actually the mother of Blue Ivy. Then others say it's Blue Cantrell. Because I didn't know Blue Cantrell and Jay-Z was in a relationship. Do I got that? Don't I got a video on oh, that's gonna be oh, yep, I do got it. So now we're dealing with Cathy White.
Get in here, get in here.
And this is the Urbaneer.
Beyonce is not the innocent girl that we thought she was. Because she just got exposed for allegedly ordering Jay-Z to unalive his infamous pregnant mistress, Cathy White. All this comes after Jaguar Wright's recent interview, when she went in on Beyonce and spilled the tea about what Beyonce and Jay did to Cathy. According to Jaguar, not only did Beyonce make Jay take Cathy out, but she allegedly took out the baby Cathy was carrying out of her before taking her out. And that baby is none other than Blue Ivy. Yeah, y'all heard that right. Apparently, Beyonce faked her pregnancy while Cathy was carrying Blue. And as soon as it was time for Cathy to push that baby out, Jay unalived Cathy and handed the baby over to Beyonce. Child, this some sort of demonic mess. Jaguar is not letting up on Beyonce, and she even came through with receipts to prove what she was saying, because she knew folks would call her crazy before even hearing what she had to say. Let's get right into the...
But you also know Jay-Z turned around and sued her, which she don't have no money. And did he sue her? I think he did too. Don't quote me on that one.
Mess, because there's a lot to get into here. Okay, so for those of y'all who don't know who Cathy was, she was Jay-Z's alleged mistress, and she died just a few days after it was reported she was about to go public with her relationship with Jay. All this came to light when the very popular journalist Liz Cronin jumped on Twitter to expose Jay of being behind Cathy's death. What made this allegation even more disturbing is that back in 2017, she had to put up a tweet accusing him of taking Cathy out, but nobody took her seriously. At the time, when Kanye West says Jay-Z has... I believe he's talking about the people who... Cathy White.
Please don't sit about my head. Just call me.
Mind you, Liz made this tweet all the way back in 2017, when nobody had any reason to think Jay was out here taking folks' lives. However, after what Diddy did was exposed, she came back out and accused Jay once again of having a hand in Cathy's death. She quoted her first tweet and said, "Note the date. Hey Jay-Z, I was the reporter who talked to your alleged mistress right before she died / was deleted. I know everything. I know what you did. Go F yourself. Your time is coming. Maybe you and Diddy can share a prison cell together. Justice is coming." She added, "It's only a matter of time before Spirit Cooking Jay-Z is exposed like Diddy. There's a reason Kanye said Jay's got murderers. I would know. He's evil to the core. I pray there will be justice for Cathy White one day. These false idols will continue to fall. Mark my words. After Liz put all this out there, people started digging to find out just how far this entire thing goes. Not only that, but at the time of Cathy's death, it was reported that she died from a brain aneurysm. But from everything that Liz said, it looks like it was just a cover-up. Jay paid the pathologist to make it up, so it looks like the real cause of Cathy's death won't be revealed. People even found this since-deleted article that the popular blogger Hollywood Street King made back in the day, and he spilled some major tea. He pretty much made this case his mission, and even went as far as to speaking to some of the feds who were in charge of investigating Cathy's death to get information about what really happened. Hollywood Street King was actually the one who broke the story about Cathy and Jay's affair, so this was very personal to him, and he did not hold back. The article read, "Yesterday, I got the news that Cathy Michelle White has suddenly passed away, so I quickly began my investigation, and guess what? Cathy did not die from a brain aneurysm as reported widely around the internet today. According to an NYPD detective who told me, Cathy's cause of death is uncertain, and later today, we will have the autopsy and toxicology reports. Right now, the death is considered suspicious. Cathy White died exactly 1 year to the day from when I broke the story of her and Jay-Z's affair." He added, "A 911 call came in from an apartment on 130 West 19th Street in Manhattan. Ambulance came and took Cathy because she was sick. They took her to the Beth Israel Hospital, and that's where she expired. It was too early to be speculating that an aneurysm her. They will be doing an autopsy today to check out her cause of death, but someone might have given Cathy a bad, so they'll do a toxicology, and we'll have to wait 2 weeks for that report." 2 weeks prior to her death, Cathy was contacted by a major tabloid that was investigating the Jay-Z connection. She gave them little information to go on, but according to one of our sources, following her conversation with the tabloid, she called Jay and told him that she was going to go public with their affair for a price. This all happened in the last 2 weeks. Then, little more than 48 hours after the announcement that Beyonce was pregnant with Jay-Z's baby, this young lady suddenly dies under suspicious circumstances. He also added these photos of Claudia Jordan and Cathy cutting it up with Jay in the club just months before her death. Apparently, Cathy was best friends with Claudia, and it was actually Claudia who introduced Cathy to Jay. Unfortunately,
Wow.
Hollywood Street King wasn't able to go any further
Wow,
with this
now I didn't know that.
Jaguar Wright stepped into the chat a few months ago, and she lit this whole thing on fire with some new information. She first spoke about this when she went live on IG and said that Cathy did not die from a brain aneurysm and that she was brutally unmoved from her home. She flat out accused Jay and Beyonce of being responsible for this and said Cathy spent her last minutes screaming for her life. Jaguar also claims the reason why Jay took Cathy out is because Beyonce was jealous. And if he wasn't going to take Cathy out, then Beyonce was going to take matters into her own hands and do it herself.
Cathy White's life was taken unfairly. She actually died screaming, and the Carters are responsible. But one of them is just a little more.
Hey, I'm telling you. So apparently Cathy White is Blue Ivy mama.
Tell me this, why is Beyonce lying? They are telling me that Blue Ivy,
This
that
the messy.
is not Beyonce's biological daughter. I don't know, but these are the reports I'm saying. And when I'm looking at the pictures, I'm seeing Cathy White. I'm seeing Cathy White. Are y'all seeing Cathy White? Hit this like button if y'all see Cathy White in Blue Ivy's face. Honey, I don't know. That's why I need you guys to tell me what's going on. I came across this video, and this video is saying they got evidence, girl. Evidence, hard-proof evidence that Cathy White baby is Blue Ivy. A lot of you
That's
guys
what they
knew it.
say.
Y'all called it. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. But let's watch this video. Let's react. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe to this YouTube channel, The Messy Sweet Spot. All right, you guys ready? And I just want to say thank you all for the likes and the shares. I want to know who is the baby mama for real?
Older mistress that has a lone child to Jay-Z. Allegedly. I didn't work on that story, but the reporters that did reported that, she was paid very well to basically shut up.
The world went nuts this
after our interview with Beyonce last Sunday led to fevered speculation about her baby bump and whether she was faking her pregnancy.
Wondering if Beyonce is faking her baby bump. Certain times too, because the person you killed was pregnant. But you would have seen that there was a removal of the body, delivery of the baby. None of her friends, no one questioned anything at all about what happened to her baby.
This story is the kind of wild,
Facts.
jaw-dropping scandal that
Matter of fact,
refuses
let
to
me
stay
change
buried.
my edit.
Cathy White, Jay-Z, Beyonce, and a tangled web of rumors that won't let go. The question everyone's asking, could Blue Ivy actually be the favorite child of Cathy White and Jay-Z? And if that's true, just how far would Jay and Bey go to protect their billion-dollar empire? It all begins in the late 2000s when rumors of Jay-Z stepping out on Beyonce with Cathy White started circulating. Cathy wasn't just some random. She was a PR consultant with ties to Hollywood and hip-hop circles. The big break in the gossip? In 2010, Cathy was spotted partying with Jay-Z and Diddy at Tao nightclub in Las Vegas. And Beyonce? Noticeably absent. Cathy Coriana White, a promising publicist in her late 20s, had the kind of life many dream of. Born in Louisiana and raised in Virginia, she graduated from Howard University, one of the most prestigious HBCUs in the country, before carving a niche for herself in the entertainment industry. Whether it was her PR work or mingling with high-profile friends like Claudia Jordan and Nikki Chu, Cathy seemed destined for greatness. The turning point takes us back to May 2009. Las Vegas was buzzing with energy as boxing legends Manny Pacquiao and Ricky Hatton faced off at the MGM Grand Arena. The fight itself was a spectacle, but what happened at the after parties made just as many headlines. Among the A-listers in attendance were Jay-Z and Diddy, enjoying the night in full celebrity mode. And guess who was there too? Cathy White, along with her close friends Claudia Jordan and Nikki Chu. Photos and videos from the night show Cathy in a bright magenta dress, champagne bottle in hand, living her best life just steps away from Jay-Z. In one picture, she's seen hollering near him, while in others, her friends are cozied up close to both Jay-Z and Diddy. These images, innocent as they might seem, would later fuel rumors that Cathy and Jay-Z were more than just party acquaintances. Witnesses claim Jay-Z went out of his way to keep the affair under wraps, even buying Cathy a $2,500 pair of Louis Vuitton heels to wear that night. But here's where it gets sketchy. Cathy allegedly brought friends to the club as a cover, so their time together wouldn't look suspicious. Talk about calculated. But that's not all. Photos of Cathy and Jay-Z cozying up at the club did exist. People saw them, shared them, and then poof. The pictures mysteriously vanished from the internet. Now ask yourself, why go through so much trouble to erase those images? What was Jay-Z trying to hide? Fast forward to 2010, and those Vegas photos started making the rounds online. Suddenly, gossip blogs were ablaze with allegations that Cathy White had been romantically involved with Jay-Z. At the time, Jay-Z's relationship with Beyonce was rock solid in the public eye. They had tied the knot in 2008 and were considered the ultimate power couple. So naturally, these rumors sent shockwaves through both the entertainment industry and Beyonce's famously loyal fan base, the Bayhive. But Cathy's alleged affair wasn't just idle gossip. Some reports even suggested she was pregnant with Jay-Z's child.
Facts.
Although no concrete evidence ever surfaced to support these claims, the rumors alone were enough to turn Cathy's world upside down. She deleted her social media accounts, retreating from the public eye as the whispers grew louder. Fast forward to 2011, and this is where the timeline gets real eerie. About 2 weeks before Cathy's untimely death, she was contacted by a tabloid investigating her alleged affair with Jay-Z. The story goes that Cathy hinted she was ready to spill the tea for the right price. But before she could go public, Beyonce dropped a bombshell of her own, her pregnancy with Blue Ivy. Beyonce's pregnancy announcement at the VMAs was a moment of joy, or was it? Just 48 hours later, Cathy White was dead. The official cause? A brain aneurysm. But hold on. NYPD detectives initially called her cause of death uncertain and raised questions about possible foul play. Toxicology reports were ordered, and one detective even speculated that Cathy might have been given something toxic before her death. And here's where it gets even more suspicious. Some believe Beyonce's pregnancy announcement was rushed to overshadow the scandal. Think about it. If Cathy was about to expose an affair and worse,
claimed she was carrying Jay-Z's child, the Carters had every reason to get ahead of the story. Was this a master PR move or something more sinister? Also, when has
Yeah,
Queen
we
Bee
already
ever
heard.
dropped-
Yeah, we already heard part of that. So Kathy White, and I gotta say, Blue Ivy do look like Kathy White. She could be. We don't know.
Let me tell you guys, JB
Now,
Mistress, she's speaking out of
Karen Bryan, who is Nas' baby mama, Carmen Bryan. Well, she was with Jay Z. This is her testimony.
again, yes. And
This
she
is a messy
is telling
spot.
us about Cathy White, Blue Cantrell. Did y'all know? He got so many mistresses. And these are some of the people that people know about. But let's not forget, it's so many that are behind the scenes that is not speaking. Very entertaining. It's going to be entertaining, but very interesting.
Unprecedented stand to fight for this marriage. I mean, to fight for it and to put it all out there. What is it about this marriage that's so special that he would fight this hard to save it?
Well, it's my soulmate. It's the person I love.
Very young, and it kind of forced me to mature. Despite everything, Beyonce's relationship with her dad seemed strong. On her first solo album, she wrote a song called Daddy with lyrics stating that she hopes to find a husband like her dad. And that foundation is so important. Just to have someone that you just, someone that is honest.
Honest?
This was a couple years before Jay-Z was caught cheating.
Remember the singer Blue Cantrell?
While he was cheating, the team had just
2014, Blue was placed in custody after being seen running in the streets, claiming to have been poisoned.
Allegedly, Miss Cathy White had a secret relationship with Jay-Z before he began dating Beyonce
Facts.
and after.
Jay-Z's ex, Carmen Bryan, is speaking out and dropping bombshells about how Jay has allegedly silenced his...
So I'm trying to remember. Carmen had the baby by Nas. So did she? Was she with? I think she was with Jay Z after Nas. Yeah.
many mistresses over the years. We're talking about women like Blue Cantrell, Cathy White, Rachel Roy, the list goes on. And turns out Jay apparently used his power, money, and connections to shut these women down when they tried to speak out. But here's where it gets dark. The recent legal drama surrounding Jay-Z has triggered people from his past to start coming forward and spilling all kinds of tea. And while Jay-Z will probably manage to get that Jane Doe case thrown out, the floodgates have opened, and that case is now bringing all of Jay's skeletons out of the closet. And now Jay-Z's ex, Carmen, who was actually pregnant with Jay's child at one point, is talking about the lengths Jay allegedly went to keep his secrets buried. From paying women off to threatening them, or worse. It sounds like there's a whole lot more going on behind the scenes than we ever imagined. So who are the women Jay-Z allegedly silenced before they could speak out? Did he really go as far as making some of these women disappear forever? Stick around, because we're about to break it all down.
You told Jay you were pregnant, Moses. Yeah.
I told him after.
Oh, you told him after? Yeah, okay, so you didn't know that.
No, I told him after the fact.
The cheating rumors surrounding Jay-Z have been around for years, and allegedly, Jay's been stepping out on Beyonce since the moment they got together. Jay himself admitted to cheating on his album, 444, where he rapped about his infidelity, the pain it caused, and how he's been working to fix things with Beyonce. However, he later flipped the script, gaslighting the public by turning it into this whole fight for the family narrative.
And you can be in love with someone. You can love someone and you're not. And if you haven't experienced love and you don't understand it and you don't have the tools to move forward, then you're gonna have complications. Period. And if you can either address it or you can pretend until it blows up at some point. And for us, we chose to fight for our love, for our family, to give our kids a different outcome. You see, to break that cycle. For black men and women. To see a different outcome, like you were saying. It's not this celebrity couple. We were never a celebrity couple. We were a couple who just happened to be celebrities.
And when asked if the outcome would be the same if Beyonce had cheated on him, Jay-Z said he hoped he would be as strong as his wife, who took him back.
That's a level of strength really on both sides. I mean, if the shoe had been on the other foot, if the transgressions had been on her side, do you think you would be able to be as forgiving of her as she was of you?
I hope. Again, because I love her the same way. No matter what side, I love her the same way. I pray that I will, because her strength and her, man, this is the strongest woman I know. They came out of my mother, they battling with that one.
But let's be real. We all know full well that someone as prideful and ego-driven as Jay-Z would never stay with Beyonce if she publicly admitted to cheating with multiple men. Meanwhile, Beyonce's fans were getting sick of this narrative Jay-Z was pushing that women who stay with cheating husbands are somehow strong. And around the time Lemonade dropped, the Beehive won. Blue dropped her debut album, So Blue, and it was a huge hit, earning her 2 Grammy nominations. However, around this time, Blue allegedly got close to Jay-Z, who had just started dating Beyonce. At this point, Beyonce was beginning to focus on her solo career, and in 2003, right when Blue dropped her second album, Bittersweet, Beyonce released her debut album, Dangerously in Love. And allegedly, Beyonce not only felt threatened by Blue's growing success, but also thought there might be something more going on between Blue and Jay. Now, Blue later denied any romantic involvement with Jay. However, when Wendy Williams asked her about it in an interview, she just laughed awkwardly and said she couldn't really answer that.
Have you ever kissed Jay-Z romantically?
No. No, I didn't answer that. I can't answer that.
Oh, she's touching him off the neck. Look. You see?
Why do people not want to let the Jay-Z Blue Cantrell thing go?
And Wendy, being Wendy, suggested that Jay-Z probably picked Beyonce over Blue because Blue wasn't young enough for him and wanted someone more naive who'd be easier to control.
Man's starts talking about if you bad. See, you have to look up with somebody in the big voice to understand.
I mean, you have to hook up with somebody. I do understand what you're saying. It's hard to find someone who's a regular guy, works a regular job, and can understand what you do. Because they'll be like, what are you doing? You're in the studio? Why can't you come home? You know? It is easier to relate to men who are in the business. What I find myself is like, it's just redundant. Like, they're in this circle that it's fast women, fast money. And it's just like, I can't live that lifestyle because some of my best friends are guys who are in the business who are successful, and I see what they do on a day-to-day basis because I hang out with them, I kick it. Most of my friends are guys in this business. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And not guys that I sleep because you know what?
Let me put Blue Cantrell on here.
And their hustle, and I try to learn what I can from them. Women are tad weak sometimes. We're looking for a school, we're looking for a man to take care of us. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for money in my bank account.
Nice. So I'm sorry for talking in those terms. But you know what? I'm used to talking to other female artists who perhaps don't have that same way.
You know what? And I don't knock it because my mother did it.
Have you ever kissed Jay-Z romantically?
No.
She said, I don't know.
I can't answer that.
Oh, she's touching him off the neck. Look. You see?
Why do people not want to let the Jay Blue Cantrell thing go?
Because honey, that was a fabulous life in your life.
Beyonce and Jay-Z, that's fabulous.
Yeah, but that was good. It's hot.
People just love that. We hung out one time and it was made press.
You know, I don't know why I said on the radio that I didn't think it would last though.
Me and him?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you're about 25.
Why? You need somebody younger than that?
At the end of the day, yeah.
Why did you say that?
Because I think at the end of the day, a younger, less savvy to the ways of the world broad.
Somebody a little bit more naive.
And then things got even messier when Beyonce and Jay-Z dropped the music video for their 2003 collab, Bonnie and Clyde. Blue Cantrell called them out publicly, saying the video looked way too similar to the promo for her own song, Roundup, which had come out earlier. But the drama didn't stop there. In November 2002, Blue dropped a song with Sean Paul called Breathe. Then, just a few months later, Beyonce released her hit, Baby Boy, featuring, Sean Paul. And on Baby Boy, Beyonce sings the line, Let Me Breathe, which could be a coincidence, but then again, Blue didn't seem to think so.
I was a fan of Sean Paul's Give Me the Light, and I said, let's get this guy on the album before he really blows up, and everyone else is going to want him on their song. And we got him first, and, he just like I said, he's just major.
But Blue wasn't done yet. She also threw out a warning to Beyonce in an interview saying, maybe she's trying to do it to get press, but I want to make her understand if she goes there with me, it's the wrong move. She needs to understand what she's doing and what she's getting into. And when asked why she thought Beyonce might be coming at her, Blue had an interesting response. If she is being negative, she doesn't need to be, Blue said, because she's a beautiful girl. But if you have issues with your man, address it with the guy. Don't take it out on the girl. But fast forward to 2014, and things took a really dark turn in this love triangle drama. In September 2014, Blue was found walking the streets of Santa Monica at 2 a.m., screaming that someone had poisoned her with gas. According to TMZ, the episode went on long enough that someone called police, and Blue was taken to a nearby hospital for a medical evaluation. After that incident, Blue was dropped from her label, and since then, no one in the music industry has been willing to work with her. Back in 2015,
because Jay-Z blackballed her.
Third studio album independently, but it still hasn't been released. And ever since then, she's pretty much vanished from the public eye. So could Jay-Z and Beyonce have played a part in Blue's sudden fall-off?
Absolutely.
Well, a lot of fans and even some industry insiders seem to think so. Of course, one of them is Jay-Z's former background singer, Jaguar Wright, who recently fueled this theory and pointed out that people who were seen as a threat to Jay and Beyonce had their careers destroyed or met tragic fates. Jaguar even mentioned former Def Jam artist Eric Sermon, who allegedly jumped out of a third-story window in September 2001, right around the time Jay-Z dropped the Blueprint.
Yeah, they said Eric jumped. I don't think he jumped. I think he had help.
But Jaguar didn't stop there. In that same interview, she called out to Blue Cantrell, begging her to speak up and share everything she went through with Jay-Z.
Blue. The first Blue. Not they daughter Blue. Blue Cantrell. You were singing Boo. And you made a choice to work with someone, and you probably didn't realize how nefarious he was when you got involved with him. I didn't. Blue, it's time to talk. Jay-Z worked very hard to erase you and me, just like he did L. Just like he did his relationship with R. Kelly, just like he did his relationship with Aaliyah.
But Jaguar wasn't finished yet. She recently dropped even more bombshell allegations, alleging that Blue's alleged poisoning could be connected to the suspicious death of Jay-Z's other rumored mistress, Cathy White. Jaguar also claimed that Jay's friend Diddy knows exactly what happened to Cathy, and she hinted that he might have been involved in a string of poisonings.
What do you predict will happen next in the future? You know, it's like you see it before it happens.
Cathy White's true killer is going to be unveiled. And it's not a man. And that woman died screaming.
For weeks. So when a few outlets quietly reported...
Wow. I told y'all this was going to be good. We about to wrap it up. Let me see, what time is it? Okay, we're gonna do this one. Last one on Cathy White.
What happened to her? This is just a beautiful,
This
young,
is Sloan.
seemingly healthy 20-year-old woman.
There's no expense being spent. I don't know how many times I'll tell you. I met Diddy one time. Saw him in Vegas at a party where Jay-Z was there, Diddy was there. My friend Cathy White, that y'all keep trying to tie me into her death. It is not true. I need y'all to stop this rumor that she was pregnant by Jay-Z.
People knew of Cathy White because of Jay-Z.
She was very strongly considering talking to me and telling me her story. That was the last time that I talked to her. They told me that she's dead.
Song completely illustrates a murder confession. Your body laid out on these filthy floors. Your bloodstains on my custom coutures. Now I ripped your dress and you're all black and blue. Look what you made me do.
Jay-Z is in hot water again because people are diving into his past, and a lot of fans have questions about Cathy White. This woman was linked to Jay-Z and suspected to have had an affair with him while he was married to Beyonce. She mysteriously died at 12, a reporter claiming that she was prepared to tell her story about Jay-Z right before she had passed away. So let's get into it.
This is Sloan.
40 times the insurance offer. So clearly Morgan and Morgan are you going to start snitching about what really happened? You and Jay-Z down in Vegas in town with Claudia. Why don't you just talk about Cathy? Jaguar also claims that Cathy had revealed that she was pregnant with Jay-Z's child just 24 hours before her death. In Jaguar's words, she said the timing was far too convenient to be a
Okay, we already heard that, so let me see.
Now let's talk a little bit more about what happened with Liz. She shared on Twitter that in 2011, I was the reporter that Jay-Z's alleged
Okay,
mistress
yeah,
Cathy
this is
White
everything we
started to
done
interview with
heard.
to go public with her story. A few days later, she was...
Yeah, this is everything we done heard. Let me delete that. Alright, we gonna end this with... Dang, no, I ain't gonna put a meal in there. I ain't gonna put it in there. I'm about to end it with this.
Okay, so Nas just scored a huge win after his $5 billion casino was approved by a committee in Queens. But that's not all. The committee, while approving Nas's casino, took shots at Jay-Z, suggested that he got either not once, but now twice. And he also took a shot at Brooklyn, reminding them that Queens gets the money.
Ha! That's how we gonna end that. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. I'm out. Good night.